Welcome again to Movie Talk by Flocaly. We have here our second place winners of our Film Freeway competition, Matt, Stephen, Rubino, and Ashleigh, writer of questions and comments. We have right here Antonio J. Medina, our vice president, joining us too. So we'll take a moment to say hello, guys.
How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Guys, I'm so excited to have you here, and to everyone watching, thank you for tuning. Let's get straight to it.
Yeah, we have some questions for you. This is going to be fun because I want you to know that the questions we're making are not just about the film. It's about what you feel as an artist. I know that there's a lot of people that do this kind of stuff, you know, like our protagonist was doing. But why do you think they do this?
Why do people complain all the time? It's just our nature, I guess. I guess you wrote it through just doing research and seeing people having, buying a product and actually calling the number on the back and getting to know one of the operators and going from there. People complain about work, and people complain about living situations, so it's all the same. It's just something you don't really see represented in movies lately. We did what we could.
It makes me think how much time people have in their hands to actually turn to the tag, see the number, call, wait for hours, because I'm pretty sure they put you like on hold. Mm-hmm. And then you just have the audacity to say, hey, well, my cans were like a little bended, so I just need, some discount, or you guys should give me some free cans, for my next purchase.
Yeah, that's what brought me to the script. I just like the way she wrote it. The character's really strong and it had a good story to it, and it's something I didn't really see represented in film lately. And we just made it. we just made it. We made it to make it.
For what we saw, we really think you guys nailed it. It's very personable and it's very believable. It's organic, based off on the same issue, right? What he does. There was an article where a customer was complaining. I believe he had a big following on Twitter. So, I guess he was trying to be dramatic, right?
Right.
It was about a toothbrush, a very expensive electronic toothbrush that was actually $99.99, $100, right?
Right.
And they made a mistake and they accidentally, I believe it was 99 cents. This person went all over social media and all his followers and put pictures of the employee, of the toothbrush, of the mistake, and complained with, I believe it was Massachusetts. I guess he went over to like retail laws and what he's entitled to in these situations. The store manager didn't want to honor this. I mean, come on, man. $100 toothbrush, you're gonna get it for 99 cents. So it wasn't honored. So they went all viral with this thing. What do you think, or what are your thoughts on that? Have you ever seen anything or had a personal experience, something like that?
I think I heard something about that article happened like a couple months ago, right? Like during the pandemic?
I believe so.
Yeah, and we kind of I think we shared that article between us because we're like, wow, our movie actually, the real life. And then we started laughing about it. Like I said, like many people you don't really hear about the complaints, right? So it's Hal calls the one company Knack the whole time, and he talks to Natalie, and he kind of does this like whole flirtatious thing with the girl he never meets over the line, I guarantee there's probably some people that are probably gonna watch this and be like, oh, I actually called the same person. If you another example of that would be the Night of the Roxbury. Have you ever seen that movie?
Oh wow, yeah, man, that's a classic. Really?
Yeah, he calls. Chris Kattan calls the girl, the Amex girl. That's like pretty much the same thing, but I think Hal takes it a little too far, where he has the company go after him, and we see what happens. We see the progression of that. We have Natalie, who plays Amelia, does her first year out of law school, does a big case and wins, and we see that progression too. And just things happen. It's real life. Like things like this happen all the time. Some of it's not publicized, so we just did it to make it.
It's kind of strange that I even wrote from the perspective of Hal, because I've worked in customer service for so long, and I'm really not in favor of the customer in most situations. I think in almost every situation, the customer is wrong, actually. But I think I just thought it was so interesting to try and put the perspective on like, why are you like this? Why are you harassing cashiers? Why are you so hell-bent on all these sort of things? But in customer service, I would say I probably had an experience like that once a day, where people would just pick up a random bottle and then choose a price tag and then say, that's how much the price is, because that's the price tag I looked at when I looked up. yeah, there's usually not a lot of logic to it. It's just, this is what I want and I'm going to get it. And I think that word you used, entitled, is key.
I like it because I was watching the film, and normally when I notice things, I rewind to rewatch it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. At some point, it's like, who takes the time to do this? If I had a friend like that, I'd be like, girl, please. Like, you know, people have lives. I'm pretty sure some people have other issues, like maybe getting sick out of eating their food, and they go with real complaints.
I think that's why you notice Hal has no friends, because if he had any friends, they would say, what are you doing?
What was it that you guys said, this is it? This is what we're going for?
It started from something really silly. I read a complaint letter about frozen peas that someone had written. And I just obsessed about this letter. I thought, who would write a letter of complaint about frozen peas? Who has that kind of time? What is that person like? What does their day look like? So I don't always write in a consecutive order, but I wrote that for a scene. I sat down and wrote his sort of day of what it looks like and the things that he finds in his life to complain about. And it kind of just went from there. It kind of sparked something.
I think it was just reading the script and I pitched it. We were doing like pitch meetings and we were just joking around. I'm like, you know, the movie's about a broken trampoline, and the mom buys the trampoline's supposed to be broken. There's supposed to be the small little trampoline, but instead we bought this really large trampoline. So the whole joke of that is like, oh, they left the trampoline on the side of the road. So the movie's really about the trampoline of anything else.
It's just interesting to me how he hoarded himself with all the stuff that he had just to cope with the fact that he felt lonely and sad. It's just funny to me how he fell in love with a woman he never saw. He just listened to to her voice, and it was mostly of the time to complain. So, what do you think about platonic loves?
I don't know. It just happens. You know, people think they fall in love. You know, we live in a society now where people meet people on online things they never meet, and they think they fall in love with the person on the other line, and sometimes it doesn't come out the way you want it to be.
We live in such a technological world nowadays where, you know, something like that can maybe be believable, right?
Yeah, I think that's what works. I mean, I think that's why the movie works for now. You know, it's a timeless movie. There's no ticking clock. There's no calendar on the wall. It can work anytime, because as we progress, this is what we're going into. You know, they're already trying to make robots where people can date.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
and far beyond that, people are not aware of yet.
Yeah,
yes, you're right.
So I mean, I think Ashleigh did a good job writing a character who was Hal, who can fit with people in our generation that are feeling lonely and fall in love with an idea or an ideal of a person without even meeting them.
I think that dynamic between Hal and Natalie as well, is he's putting so much on her when really she's just doing her job. But I mean, you're never going to get that from, as you said, your friend, because your friend wouldn't sit there and listen to you complain for hours. Your friend would go, shut up, I have a real problem. But I mean, that's what he gets from Natalie, is he calls her day in, day out with these tiny complaints, and she acts concerned because that's her job. So it is kind of similar to that dynamic between like a robot and a person, as it's so one-sided.
Anything that you want to say to the audience, or anybody that you want to thank or give some credits, the floor is yours, guys.
I mean, if it wasn't for our awesome cast, you know, we had Natalie. We had two Natalies, actually. The girl actually is Natalie Brennis and Natalie Glade, and then we had JJ and Danny Lover. Without them, the movie wouldn't have been made. We had a great supporting team. Our editors did as good as they could do. Our colorists, our sound people. I want to thank the Hales, a local South Florida band that gave us their music. My friend Danny Henry, who's making waves in California right now, who I've never met. This is the story. I've never met him in person. I was living in New Hampshire doing college radio, and one of my friends connected me with him, and we've never met in person. And I like his music, and I asked him if he could put it in the movie, and he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So he let us use his music too. So I want to thank him a lot, and I want to thank all the people that donated. We did a GoFundMe, I think it was or Indiegogo, and we didn't hit our mark, but we hit a good amount, and we were able to finish the movie with it and have a fun time on set, and we're just thankful that we were able to complete it. And thanks to all the festivals and you guys for accepting it and watching it and giving it a score on your festival. Thank you.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah.
Before you guys go, I wanted to ask you, especially you, Ashleigh, what would you tell to people that do this stuff?
I think seek therapy would be the main one. But I want to know your tragic backstory. I want to know why you're like this.
Well said.
That's awesome. I love it. So guys, before you go, is there any projects that you guys are working on? Something that's coming soon you guys want to share with your audience?
I sent a script recently to Matt, so we'll see. It's a very, very Australian script, so we potentially need to make it American to do anything with it in America, because there's kangaroos, there's all kinds of things.
Yeah, but it was a good script. I mean, we can share it with you guys if you want to read it and let you guys know.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, I can get you connected. If we shot it in Australia, it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, if it's very Australian, like you said, I think that's what makes it even more interesting, because I want to see it and I want to know.
Yeah. I mean, I think I really like that about the script as well. It's just unfortunate we don't really have the film industry here that you guys have, so it's very hard to get anything up and running.
Well, know that you always have the support of Flocaly, okay?
Exactly.
Always, that's what we do.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks,
whenever
guys.
you guys have some short films or stuff like that you guys are trying to put there, besides sharing it in your personal pages, bring it over here to Flocaly. We're always showing supports to our people. Yeah, guys, that was all for today. So go ahead and say goodbye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks for liking the movie.